My name is Nicholas Burton. I am originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, where I was an executive chef for a restaurant for about 8 or 9 years. And then I moved to Utah and got into sales, where I started leading and directing business development teams for life insurance and then for SaaS companies. And then I came to Vose about 2 years ago, started with the business development teams of kind of just building from scratch. I was very successful with that, and then became the director of inside sales, to where I took on some account executives under my wing. I can kind of teach them the art of conversation. I think the biggest lessons that I have learned over the years is to be data driven, to make sure everything is fair. I want my guys to have visibility on what they're doing, to where they can see if what they're doing is working and the results. So I'm very data driven, and I give my team the tools that they need to be successful. I try to deploy different types of systems and trainings with consistency of these trainings, to where they have something that they can count on. And I feel like sharpening your axe or training never ends, because this is the pursuit of mastery. We're an AI first type of company, which is great because I feel like I'm getting a master's in artificial intelligence. So it's a big part of our entire system. We try to use it in any way possible, but the way that my team is using it right now is for everything from pre-call research or admin work, or anything that they don't have to manually do as humans. We also have a system where they role play with artificial intelligence that I have prompted for different types of my training, to where they can practice before they get on the phone. I think just like in every sport, you warm up, you do your layup drills, you always practice a little bit before the game time. So that's what I try to teach my team, is to get on here, let's role play with the AI, let's use the systems that we have, to where when it is game time and that first person says hello, you're ready to go. B2B sales changes consistently, but I think it is trust and relationship building as opposed to trying to sell a fancy toy. So I teach my team how to build trust fast. I teach them, try to find what problem they have to make their sales grow. Every company that we speak to in B2B want one of two things. They either want to keep their current customers happy, or they're looking for new customers. So with that mindset, and if we can help solve the problem that they're trying to work through, it just becomes easy, because nobody tries to face it that way. They try to face it like, hey, I have this thing that does A, B, C, and D. Don't you want to buy it? And I don't think that's the correct approach. I think it's building trust, and I also think that it's solving a problem for them. The sales problem that we are trying to tackle right now, that we see with B2B, is the people that are out there on the road, the outside field sales reps. The technology was very underserved in that community. And a lot of these people are just trying to take notes on a notepad, or at the end of the day, they try to remember every visit they had and every conversation they had, to where they can log notes. And what we want to do is try to give them a system to where all they have to do is speak to their phone after the visit, and then everything else is automated through the AI. So the biggest thing that we're trying to solve for is relationship buying, and having those notes to rely on before you go revisit a customer. Oh, hey, last time I saw Bob, he said that his daughter had a big recital this weekend. So the next time I see Bob, I can say, hey man, how did that recital go with your daughter? To where we show that we care and that we can build this relationship. And it's not just about sales, it's about really caring for the customer. AI is incredible for the pre-call research that you can do on a company. It saves you a bunch of time, or maybe the pains or problems that companies are facing. AI is great for even automating emails to get people's attention, or to log admin work. But the personal touch and the conversations are where I draw the line. It has to be a real human who has been trained in the negotiation tactics and the building trust. So I think the human touch stops with conversation to where trust can be built and the relationship can be started. I try to keep calls that I have personally done or my team lead has done that has done the same amount of training that I do and say, look what happens when they say this calibrated question. Look at the answer that they got when they use open-ended questions and they're not doing an interrogation. They're actively listening and asking questions about what the prospect said. So I have one-to-ones with all of my reps on a weekly basis to where we do call recordings, reviews. I'll either jump on the demos with them or we review it together. And AI has helped me with that too, because I can put a transcript of a demo in there, ask it to grade it, and with the skill that I have built, knowing what I look for, what I expect, and what the expectations are of the company, it can give me a grade, it can give me coaching points to where it saves me time to where I know exactly what I need to go over with the account executive on what he did great in the demo, where the opportunities lie, and what the action step should be for the next demo. So the tools that I have to help my reps be better every single day, I mean, we just have this motto, be better than you were yesterday. And I feel like I live that in my life. The tools that we have to help them are AI pre-call research. Another great one is, it's a company called Sales Dojo, where you can build an AI of what you're looking for. Maybe it's calibrated questions or dynamic silence, or it's just the opening and introduction, and then you role play with the AI. It speaks back to you, and then it gives you a grade on how you did with your introduction to where they can review it. It's not something that I look at because I want them to be open and honest with this AI role playing. So I don't look at their grades. I look to see if they're actually doing it. And then I think just the human training of ongoing training where we practice what I've built, which is called the Conversation Compass. We go through different things of this Conversation Compass on a weekly basis that instill the training in them and help them just be better than they were yesterday. So those are the main tools that we use to build these reps up. The advice that I have to somebody who's wanting to go from an individual contributor to a sales leader role is be humble and don't do anything alone. Collaborate with people, learn from people who have done this before, and don't feel like you have to boil the whole ocean. Learn one thing at a time, be great at one thing, and then once you have that mastered, move on to the next thing. Build a system that you know that you can count on. It's the foundation of everything else that will come. You will learn stuff with experience and from the people that are around you that have already done it. If it's a go-to-market engine, you need to know the 4 pillars of that go-to-market engine. Learn them, live them, and love them. When you are going to be a sales leader, what are you teaching? You cannot do this because you have the gift of gab. It only gets you so far. You need to know something that you can rely on and go to when something's in question. So have a system and a foundation that you can rely on any situation. That's what helped me the most is if something came up in a call recording, a demo, a one-to-one, I have a safe place where I can go and say, hey, what does my foundation tell me to do in this situation? What is the perfect scenario that I can outbuild for this rep, for this salesperson, for a manager who's looking for advice? And the best advice I can give to anybody out there is read books. The more you read, the better you will become at any job that you have.